Hello everybody and welcome to Mr. Cuff's Exam Bites. Each of these short tutorials will give you a clear and concise overview of a different exam paper. Today we're going to be looking at English Literature Paper 2, which is for CIE IGCSE. So this is a drama paper. So this paper is 1.5 hours long. You have to answer 2 questions. You are given 50 marks across the 2 different questions. That's 25 marks per question, and it is closed book, which means that you cannot take your copy of the play into the exam with you. So you must answer 2 different questions on 2 different plays. Each of those questions is worth 25 marks, and you must answer 1 extract question and 1 full play question. So you can decide which one you want to choose for which play, but you must make sure that you have answered 1 extract question and 1 full play question. And for the extract question, the extract will be printed on the exam paper. Okay, now what skills do you need for this entire paper? So you need to show that you've got a good understanding of the play, so what's it about, the setting, and the action that happens, the context, the characters, relationships, how these progress and develop, the different ideas expressed, the themes. You should also show that you can analyse, so you want to be able to analyse the different methods used by the writer. So these should be dramatic devices because this is a play, so you want to make sure that you're aware of the different dramatic devices utilised by the playwright and what the effect is. Interpretation, so how are you interpreting the extract, or how are you interpreting the play or the event or the characters, the action, the relationships, or even a quotation, even something that somebody has said. So how are you interpreting that? What are the deeper meanings behind it? And your personal response, so your own ideas with regards to the text and the question, and these ideas should be supported with relevant quotations or evidence from the text. So let's begin with the extract question. So first of all, let's quickly run through what you have been tested on. So your understanding of the play itself, your understanding of the text, but also your understanding of this extract and its place within the text. Obviously, if you didn't really have a good understanding of the text as a whole, you probably wouldn't understand the extract or the significance of the extract. Your understanding of the context, if it's relevant here, your understanding of the meaning or message of the play as well as the writer's intentions, understanding the methods used by the writer and the effect that these have, why they've been used, what the effect on the audience is. So do remember that there is an audience here, not a reader. And I've just put some of the different dramatic devices here that you can talk about. So all of these, obviously you can do your language analysis as well, but these are specific to the form, which is a play, so don't forget to utilise these. Show that you can comment on language, structure and form. So down here, this is where everything is relevant to the form here. When you're thinking about the structure, think about the structure of the extract itself. Think about how our ideas progress or how a character develops, or even how a theme may develop across the extract. Your ability to select and use relevant quotations or evidence within your answer, and your ability to formulate a personal response with regards to the question. So just make sure that your writing is obviously clear and coherent but well structured. So this is where a good plan will really become useful. So how to answer? Read the question, deconstruct it, highlight the key words, think about what they mean, think about what your focus is. You could write these on top of the extract as it will kind of keep you on track as you're going through and highlighting. So I've just put an example question over here. Obviously I've not included the entire extract just because I don't have that much space here, but this is an example of one of the questions. In what ways does Priestley make this moment in the play so dramatic and revealing? So obviously your keywords here are dramatic and revealing, and that's what you're trying to prove. You're trying to prove the different ways in which he does that. Once you've kind of understood what you're looking for, you've gone through the question, then read through the extract. Where is it from, what's happening? So you just want to make some really quick notes here. Where is it from in terms of, in the play? So obviously you're told here this is from Act 2, but you want to just make sure, okay, I know what happens in Act 2, but I know what happens before it, I know what happens after, I know at what point the characters are at here in this extract, I know at what point the action is at. So you've kind of got to show for yourself that you understand the significance of this extract and the significance in terms of the characters and the development, or the themes and the development. So just kind of place it within your head in terms of all the key events and where this one slots in. Think about who is involved, so the characters, do they progress through this extract? What are their relationships with other people like? What do we notice about them? What can you say about them? What are we shown? And then think about, why is this particular extract significant? Obviously it's been chosen for a reason. So why is it significant to the play itself? What do you learn from this extract? Why is it important? Think about the mood. Think about the mood or the atmosphere that's created and how. Think about the themes. Can you track particular themes? Can you attach them to characters or action? And then think about what the playwright is trying to show us throughout this extract and why. And then just do a quick brainstorm. What are the big ideas here? So if you brainstorm some key ideas and then key words, you could use them later on when you're trying to kind of develop your essay and write up your points. So think about what are the bigger ideas here outside of the play. What is the writer trying to show you? Is it about identity? Is it about relationships? So really just kind of think about those big ideas. Then you can go through and highlight anything relevant to the question and some of the ideas that you've already got. So you will already, just from making notes here, have a lot of key words that you may be able to use for your points, or you may be able to use to explain or analyse your quotations. So once you've got this bank of ideas, then you can take your highlighter, go through the extracts and just highlight anything that's interesting, that stands out, that's relevant to the question, but also that you think is key, something that you can really analyse and develop in detail. As you're highlighting, do think about, well, what could you say about this example that you're highlighting? What does it show? Think about any patterns that you can comment on. Maybe there's a semantic field as you're going through, or maybe you notice something about how a particular character acts, or maybe one character constantly interrupts another character. All of those are patterns, and it's really good to be able to show that you can notice those and you can figure out what the significance is, and you can track those throughout the extract. Also think about, can you link any of the quotations together as well? Again, so this kind of goes with the idea of creating patterns. And as you're going through, you can just jot down some ideas, even if it's just writing down, oh, this is an entrance, this is an exit, or this person speaks for a long time, or even if you want to analyse a metaphor. It'd be a good idea to just make some notes, and then that helps you to kind of remember what you want to say about it when you come and write up your essay. And then just do a final plan, and this is where you look at all of your notes, or you look at all of your highlights, and you look at all of these ideas you've got from up here. Think, okay, what do I actually want to say? What's going to formulate my essay? What am I going to use in the body of my essay? And then you can kind of eliminate anything that either you don't feel you could use, or it's irrelevant to the question, or it's not really strong enough for you to comment on, or you actually look back at it and think, well, I've highlighted this, but I don't actually know what I would say about it. So that's when you kind of make your plan, think about your point sentences, and then go back through the extract and decide which quotations you will use. You can even just number them. So if you've got your point 1, and then you've kind of number all the quotations that you want to use in point 1 and give them a 1 next to it. So then that'll be much easier when you're writing up your essay, gives you that structure that you need. So how should you structure your answer? So make sure that you've got an introduction. It does not have to be very long at all, just a few sentences will do. And then you've got the main body. So you may have more points than this. It's completely up to you how much time you have. You want to make sure that you've probably got a minimum of 3 developed points that you can make, with a variety of evidence within each one. And then conclusion if you've got time. So just think about overall, what have you learned from the extract? Think about the keyword as well. Think about the big ideas, or think about what you have even shown with regards to the focus on the question. And here are my suggested timings. It all depends on how fast you write or how fast you read. So you may decide to take a few minutes from here and there and move them around a bit, but probably want to spend about 10 minutes reading, highlighting, just making some notes on the extract, and then wanting to spend maybe 5 minutes pulling all of that together and giving yourself a structured plan that gives you the points that you want to mention. And then give yourself about 30 minutes to write up your response. Okay, so let's have a look at the full play question. So I've given you an example of the full play question over here. So this is where obviously you must talk about the entire play, and your question kind of guide you with that. Now remember that you do not have a copy of your play here, so just bear that in mind when you're thinking about how you will kind of plan your answers. So what are you tested on? So all of these are exactly the same as what I just went through for the extract question. So how to answer this particular question. Make sure that you read the question, deconstruct it. Again, same as extract, highlight the key words, think about what they mean and what your focus is. So this one, for example, does Priestley's writing make it possible for you to have any sympathy for Sheila? So your focus here is, to what extent really do you have sympathy for her? Brainstorm your initial ideas. So just kind of throw all of your ideas onto the paper, just anything that you can think of. And then you can do a more structured plan. So look at all the ideas that you've got, choose the strongest ones, the ones that you think are really, really clear. the ones that you think that you can find evidence for, and then decide on your evidence. So your evidence must come from several different points in the play, so what you don't want to do is just make sure you're picking everything from Act 1, for example, and then obviously write up your answer. Now my tips here for this particular question is ensure that your points and ideas show that you do have a full understanding of the entire play. So do think about how characters, themes, action, all of that develops throughout the play, and select your evidence from the beginning, the middle and the end. So for example, with this question, you may think about how we're introduced to the character of Sheila, how we feel about her at that point, then how she develops, maybe some particular key event in the middle where we either do or don't feel sympathy, and then how we end up, so how do we feel about this character at the end, and come back to this idea of sympathy. So do think about, you know, the breadth of your answer and making sure that you're pulling from various parts of the play. It'd be a good idea if when you're brainstorming ideas, you're just trying to do that in chronological order. So you're thinking, right, okay, I'll start at the beginning of the play and just work my way through. That will really help you to think about the focus of the question and any changes or developments of the character or the theme or whatever your focus is throughout the play. Now, unless you remember specific quotations, you will just need to paraphrase, because obviously you don't have the text in front of you. So you may remember key quotations, just key words, or you may remember the general gist and then you're able to paraphrase. So in terms of structuring your answer, it's pretty much the same as what I've said for the extract question. So you can just have a bit of a read of that. And the timings, brainstorming ideas and planning, give yourself 15 minutes. You really want to think carefully about your points, but also the evidence, making sure that you cover the entire play. And writing up should be roughly around 30 minutes. So thank you very much for taking part in this lesson. I really hope this quick overview has helped you to understand this particular exam paper. If you would like more information, or if you would just like the guide to go with this, then please do check out the Student Zone on my website, and you can download this guide for free. Thank you very much. Goodbye.